So friends, we will start with the next ratios to compute here. In the above problem, you can see here the liabilities. I will quickly read the liability side. Capital plus reserves is 355. Your profit and loss account credit balance 7. Loan from SFC 100. Bank overdraft 38. Creditors 26. Provision of tax 9. Proposed dividend 15. I will quickly also read out the asset side. It's net fixed assets 265, cash 1, receivables 125, stocks 128, prepaid expenses 1, intangible assets 30. So your total amount of liabilities and asset side of balance sheet is 550. We will calculate the first ratio, that is your current ratio. In current ratio, the formula is current assets divided by your current liabilities. So what is under current assets, friends? Okay, so we will just see in the asset side, cash, that is 1, receivables 125, stocks 128, and your prepaid expense 1. So 1 plus 125 plus 128 plus 1, we will get as 255 in the numerator, divided by your current liabilities. Friends, what will be coming in the current liabilities? In current liabilities, just see in the liability side in the problem, you will see as bank overdraft 38, creditors 26, provision of tax 9, and proposed dividend 15. Just add up all these, you will get as 88 in current liabilities in denominator. 255 divided by 88, you will get as 2.90:1 as your current ratio. We'll see. We'll quickly calculate the second ratio, that is your quick ratio. The formula here under is your quick assets divided by your current liabilities. Quick assets is equal to your current assets minus stock minus prepaid expense. So what is your current assets, friends? 255 minus your inventory, that is minus your inventory stock is 128 minus your prepaid expense 1. You will get as 126 divided by your current liabilities, which is 88. 1.43:1 is your quick ratio. We will calculate the third ratio in the above problem, that is your debt equity ratio. Now friends, what is debt equity ratio? Well, it is simply a relationship between a borrowed funds and internal owners funds. So it is also known as your debt to net worth ratio. Okay. The formula is long-term debts divided by your owner's fund. Owner's fund, friends, can be calculated in two ways depending on the problem given. The first is you need to calculate total assets minus total liabilities. Same total assets, we have to exclude fictitious assets, intangible assets. Similarly, in total liabilities, you have to exclude the capital. This is the first way. The second way is your capital plus your reserves minus your miscellaneous expenses or your intangible assets. Okay. So we will start with it. Long-term debts. So friends, in the liability side, just see long-term debts. What all have been given here? Only one is there. So loan from SFC, that is 100. Just write 100 in the numerator divided by your owner's fund. By seeing the problem, friends, you can calculate here by two ways. The two way which I just stated, we can calculate from the two ways. The answer will be the same. So we will quickly calculate by two ways. The first way we will calculate as your total assets minus total liabilities. So what is your total assets? 550 is there, total assets, minus intangible assets I have said. So 550 minus your intangible assets, that is 30, you will get as 520. 520 minus your total liabilities, need to exclude capital. So liabilities side 550 minus capital plus reserves is 355 and your profit and loss account credit balance is 7. So you need to exclude here 550 total liabilities. So total liabilities you will getting as long term liabilities and current liabilities. So 550 minus your 362 you will be doing. So you will get as 188. So 520 of total assets minus total liabilities 188, you will get as 332 in the owned fund or owner's fund in the denominator. This I have calculated in the first way. Now I will just calculate on the second way too. That is your capital plus your reserves minus your miscellaneous expenses or intangible assets. So what is capital plus reserves, friends? 355 plus profit and loss account credit balance 7. So 362 minus your intangible assets, that is your 30. So 362 minus 30, you will get as 332 in the denominator owned fund. So 100 divided by 332, which is equal to 0.30:1. Now friends, long-term liabilities or long-term debts exclude your current liabilities. What does it do? It long-term debts mainly exclude your current liabilities. Similarly, your shareholders fund include your share capital, your credit balance in your profit and loss account, all your reserves, and it exclude or deduct fictitious intangible assets. So 0.30:1 your debt is your debt equity ratio. What does it indicate as? Every 0.30 of long term debt, like every 0.30 of long term debt are being backed by an investment of 1 by the owners. Thus the safety margin for this is the safety margin for creditors is more than the double, like 0.30:1 na? So the safety margin for creditor is more than double.